On this programme, as you know, we're always encouraging you to shop around for the best deals. But when it comes to buying electrical goods, like a new TV for instance, it can be hard to know where to start. Should you stick with the familiar names on the high street, or do you try and navigate your way through all those companies online that seem to be offering a much better price? Trouble is, as many of you have found to your cost, some of the more obscure businesses you'll come across shopping on the web are either offering items that aren't as good as they seem, or worse still, the whole operation is entirely bogus. Mick McNicholas from Stoke-on-Trent is one of millions of people used to buying his technology online. So when he and his wife Sue needed a new fridge freezer, they turned to the internet to find the type they wanted.
I've always wanted the American style one, haven't I? I've always got loads of food in and I'm always feeding people. So I need a bigger fridge freezer than just that one what we got.
They soon found a Sandstrom American fridge freezer that they liked on sale for £469.78, much less than they'd pay on the high street. But it wasn't from a familiar website like Currys or John Lewis. Instead, they'd found the best price on a site called chatelectronics.com. Mick and Sue had never heard of it, but there was nothing to suggest it wasn't genuine.
The page itself looked legitimate, it looked good. It was convincing in every way. All the items were for sale, you know, they got them on display and everything. It looked genuine.
Mick and Sue were delighted to have found such a good deal, but they hit their first stumbling block when they tried putting their order through online.
I went on the website, I'd registered, but it still wouldn't let me in. So I got the phone number and eventually I got through. I said, I'm trying to get this fridge freezer. Told him exactly which one it was. I said, but I can't get on your website. I said, I've registered, like he's asked, and it still won't let me in. And he says, okay, I'll sort it out, I'll do it for you.
Mick was told he could order over the phone. He wanted to pay by credit card so he had some protection. But the man he was talking to said he could only accept payment by bank transfer.
The penny didn't drop or anything like, there's anything untoward. So I said, okay then, fine. And then I had 3 messages off them. It had got all the details on. They sent me the bank details and everything via these messages. And the last one was delivery date on as well.
The payment went through smoothly, but when the delivery date arrived, their freezer didn't.
I phoned him up, I managed to get through to him one more time. He said, oh, it's on its way, it's on its way. So I never did nothing straight away. I gave him a chance for him to sort the delivery out and get it delivered to us.
But 4 or 5 days passed and there was still no sign of the freezer. Suspecting the worst, Mick did a search about the company online and, to his horror, found a number of very negative reviews. And when we started investigating on his behalf, we discovered that Action Fraud had been contacted by no less than 114 people who all say they've paid for goods from this company that simply haven't turned up. So, to try and get some answers about what's gone on, I've come to Glasgow, where the Cha website says the story's based, to find out just what's happened to Mick and Sue's new fridge freezer. Now, according to the website, the store is pretty central and just round the corner from here. Driver, I think the place we want is 639 Great Western Road. Does that ring any bells?
Yes, I know who you are.
Good. Excellent. 5 minutes later, and I've arrived at what the Cha Electronics website says is the address. But it's instantly clear that something's not right. Well, it's definitely 639 and it's definitely a cake shop. Need to go in and see what's going on. Hello.
Hi.
I'm here because I was expecting to find white goods like cookers and freezers and stuff like that. But you don't sell those, do you?
No, it's just cakes, I'm afraid.
But clearly, I'm not the first person to ask that question.
They came in and you could just see their face was dropping, they were absolutely shocked, and they just asked if we knew anything about an electrical shop. Was it here? Do we know where they've gone to? Can they get a hold of them? Stuff like that. And I just felt so sad for them, it was terrible.
So Leslie, just to be clear, there are no electrical goods here?
Nope, you'll only find cakes here. I do believe a couple of years ago the electrical company did were here in this shop, but I believe they've relocated somewhere in Glasgow now.
Ah, I might get on the trail.
Okay, let me know how you get on, please.
I will. So it seems there was once a Cha Electronics based at that address. I wonder if anyone knows where it's moved to. Excuse me, you haven't heard of anywhere called Cha Electronics along here, have you? Cha Electronics, and it sells things like fridge freezers and no? Okay. With no leads so far, it's back to the taxi and a quick look online. Cha Electronics Limited. For top quality electronics at an affordable price, get in touch. Yep, that's what I'm doing, trying to find you. We can help you find the most appropriate version of the product you're looking for. We pride ourselves on efficient delivery and great customer service. I bet you do. More digging does turn up a business with the right name at a different address, so the trail's not cold yet. This is looking a lot more promising. It's called Cha Electronics, so I'm going to go inside and see if I can find Mick and Sue's fridge freezer. But there's no joy here either. I am looking for a place that sells fridge freezers, but I'm not certain this is you.
Yeah, just a mobile phone shop.
Vipul Sharma has been the owner of Cha Electronics mobile phone shop for 5 years, but his business has no connection with the so-called Cha Electronics that's been taking money for goods it hasn't delivered.
Got nothing to do with us. We are a small mobile phone shop. We never sell these fridge freezers or TVs or any other fancy electronic goods.
Vipul is naturally horrified that someone appears to have stolen his company name and previous address simply so it can scam people.
I started getting calls during Christmas time. In January and February was the worst month when I started getting calls, like 3 or 4 calls a week times. And that was a panic time for me, you know.
And when they told you the address that they thought the shop was at, it rang a bell with you, didn't it?
It does, yeah. We used to have that shop, but the shop wasn't doing that well, so we had to actually shut the shop down.
It's clear that whoever has taken the money for Mick and Sue's fridge freezer is just using a genuine business name to make it seem more legitimate. So where are they really based? Paul Myers is an expert in tracking things down on the internet, and he knows all too well that even the most attractive-looking site may not be everything it seems. So, Paul, how easy is it to set up a fake website?
Incredibly easy. In fact, if you have a look here, I set this up in a morning.
That is ridiculous.
And as you
Julia's
can see,
Electronics.
Absolutely. I can just type in details here because I based this on the original Cha Electronics website.
And you think that people would actually trust that?
People see a well laid out website, they see a local company, and they see cheaper prices. It works. If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
So, Paul, you've given me a wonderful website. How do I start selling stuff?
No, I've bought a domain name. I have web space available. At the moment, it's stored on this computer, and so we have to upload it.
Our plan is to record just how many people visit our website and try to buy something because they're drawn in by the cheap prices without initially knowing that the site is 100% fake.
And that little noise tells us that it's uploaded. Julia, would you like to do the honours?
Absolutely.
If you just click there and press refresh.
This is the equivalent of cutting the red ribbon, is it?
Yes.
I now declare this site open. In the first month that Julia's Electronics was online, it received 1,000 hits from people hoping to bag a bargain. Of course, this site wasn't accepting any orders, but it proves just how easy it is to set up what looks like a genuine internet store, which perhaps helps explain why billions of pounds is lost to online retail fraud every year. Meanwhile, our expert Paul has done some digging into the true whereabouts of whoever's behind the fake Cha Electronics, and he's discovered that the website, despite hijacking a UK address, is actually based in Florida. So, Paul, what have you managed to find out so far?
They're registered to an address that isn't theirs, and they have a social media presence as well. So anybody who was kind of worried about buying stuff from them would feel kind of assured that they were a kind of a professional company at first glance.
And when it comes to looking at a site, are there any things on it that should set off alarm bells?
Well, yes, I mean, the design of the logo was quite amateurish, but I would say that when you click on payment options, you get directed to a third-party website, and that would make me a little bit suspicious. Also, see what other people are saying. You know, find out whether anyone else has had a bad problem with it.
Well, if the website's being hosted in Florida, what can the police do about it?
It's a little tricky. Obviously, Florida's out of their jurisdiction, so they can't just roll up there and say, you know, who is this person? How did they pay for it? What's their bank account details? Very, very difficult.
We did try and contact the people behind the website. As yet, they haven't bothered to respond or to explain what they've done with the money taken from people like Mick and Sue. Obviously, in future, the couple will be much more wary of using websites they don't know. But for now, they've had to accept they've been scammed and lost their money.
I want them punished, because they're a thief. They've stole off me, haven't they? I want them stopped. Stop other people from being ripped off by him. And I want my money back.